Today's episode we're going to talk about the rear fit out. So the first thing you'll see is this is drawers from our usual suspect. Yep, Adventure Kings. Yeah, they are, but with one little difference here. I've made a video on this in the past. These have L-track tie downs located all through them, so you can move these tie down points around to exactly where you want to tie something down. Now technically the King's drawers do include a fridge slide. This top panel will actually slide all the way out, but there's a few problems with that. If you've got something tied down on this side to the L-track, it can't move of course, and that fridge slide only comes out horizontally and only to about this far. It's still not that convenient to get into the fridge. So instead I fitted this Ocam fridge slide to the top of the left drawer, and instead of being a full-on drop slide, it actually just comes out and tilts over. This means it's much lighter than a complicated drop-down slide. This also means it's much cheaper. That just simply tilts over, rests on the tailgate here, and you can get at the contents of the fridge. It isn't one of the much more complicated ones which also has gas struts to assist lifting the fridge up, but this is only a 40-litre fridge, so it's not that hard to lift. I've actually been quite pleased with that. It makes it a lot easier to get at the fridge. Now the fridge is an Engel MT45FP. It's the Engel Combi type. It has a 40-litre capacity and you can stick a divider in the middle so that you can have the back as a freezer and the front as a fridge. Typically we haven't really done that, and maybe I wouldn't have if I got it now, but in theory it's useful. But generally when we need to freeze a whole bunch of food to go somewhere, we just have the whole thing as a freezer and don't have cold drinks. This runs off the 12-volt 100 amp hour battery, but it's also capable of running off mains power, and will in fact, if you plug it into both, will actually nicely preferentially run off mains power. So then over this side, we have 4 boxes from Expedition 134. These are actually made in Australia by an Australian company, which is pretty good, and they are entirely made out of plastic. That doesn't sound like a feature, but there's no metal bits in the hinges to come out and rust. There's no metal bits in the catches to come out. So they're really good in a marine environment. They've got a seal all the way around. You can quite safely sit or stand on them. But in this one, we've basically got all of the cooking gear and serving gear and utensils, plates, cups, whatever. Bit of bottled water in the filter. Top one has all of our food in it. Nope. That one. So on the back side there's 2 more, miscellaneous, and under that tarps. I'm not totally convinced of the sensibility of using Oki straps to tie them down. That seemed like a good idea at the time, however they can still move a bit and bounce up and down. I think they rattle just as much as if they were unsecured, so next time I'm going to work out something for tie down straps.
I went in search of a plain cam buckle strap that had a double J hook on the end. But it seems that nobody makes one. You can only get ratchet straps with that fitting, and only in a few meters long. So sometimes, you just have to make it yourself.
Well, they fit with just one, only just. But the other good thing about these boxes is the tie down points are below the top of the lid. So you don't have to tie them down over the lid. You can still open the lid on this one when it's tied down, roof clearance permitting. Also in the back, we have a Zempire Slat Pack table in the small size. I've got a large one on order. It's finally shipped.
The large Zempire table arrived, and comparing it to the wildly impractical T-slot table we had at Antennapalooza, it's almost the same size and doesn't require 48 T-slot nuts and bolts to be installed for assembly.
We have a Spinfex double camp chair, a bag full of tarp poles, a Spider Beam 12-meter fiberglass pole that's used for radio purposes, and under that there's a single camp chair. Down the side here we have 2 ProQuip jerry cans. Each of these holds 22 litres of water. They're the olive green water kind. They won't get crap growing in them like you will with transparent ones that let light in. Now the left drawer, which opens smoothly, perfectly smoothly, Features screw-in tent pegs, a first aid kit, the drill and impact driver, and other miscellaneous tools. Got this bag which features a Haynes workshop manual for the car, an LED head torch, some IKEA bags, toilet paper, baby wipes, insulation tape. Behind it, a bag of tie-down straps, the snake bite and venomous creatures kit, which I don't know why we need to carry anymore, there's plenty out there, a socket set, and in the back of this, 6 backcountry meals, which are basically dehydrated and last for years. 3 of them have flameless ration heaters in there, which you just need to add water to heat them up to serving temperature. Behind that, there is a tyre repair kit for when 2 spare tyres just aren't enough. And in this one, we have spare parts kit, lighter, some spare M6 bolts, a spare gas strut for the tyre carrier, a spare fuse for the rear battery system, the programming cable for the Codan, some silicon radiator hose repair tape, some spare plastic clips for trim panels, heat shrink splicers, fuses, spare thumb screws for the tarp poles, googly eyes should you ever need to stick them to something in an emergency, mounting tape, spare set screws for all the radio antennas. Flip it round, and on the other side we got spare globes for headlights, indicators. This thing, which is a key for taps which don't have handles. You can buy one of these super secret authorized personnel only devices at your local Bunnings. We have some locks and a few spare wheel nuts. Some super glue should things not stay stuck down. Okay, right hand drawer. That has all of our recovery gear in it. Covered that in a previous video. So now down here, we have a few pairs of pliers of the engineering kind, the plumbing kind, a set of screwdrivers, the pin to lock a rear tow hitch in, Allen key, coat hanger, always good, some longer tie down straps, and some rope. Right hand side has the car's stock toolkit. This one contains all of the parts to lower the rear spare tyre where there isn't one anymore. Someone used to make a kit of barbecue utensils which went into the spot on the left, but I have not been able to find where to buy one.
Join us next time for a look at what we decided to do about roof racks and why we want them all of a sudden. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and see you then.